Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Throttle Buddies video. It's Spencer here. Today we'll be, of course, working on the S13. The project for today, we're going to be working on the dash, getting it all sanded down, bondoed up, and hopefully be flocking it later tonight. I think my fiance Emerald's going to be helping me with that. So that's pretty exciting. I'm really sick of driving this thing around and not having a dash in it. The car's looking a little better than normal. I've got part of the kit on it on the rear. Nice overs in the back. It's kind of weird. It almost looks white because the trunk's white, bumper's white, over fenders are white. But yeah, we'll be working on this dash, getting her all finished up hopefully. I would be really happy if this was the last time that we worked on this dash. It's really messy to work on. Not my favorite. So let's get to it. So a couple things we'll be using to work on the dash today, guys. Of course, we have our orbital sander. I'm using 80 grit discs on this, and then maybe I'll go a little bit finer, but it seems to do pretty good on the cracks. Of course, Bondo body filler and some applicating little scrapers. Got a bunch of sanding discs because these clog up really good with Bondo. So the dash, I already prepped it and started doing it a long time ago. The prep for doing it, I basically just like grooved out all the major cracks so that a lot of Bondo can just fill that in. I can get it nice and smooth, get my base going, but I'm not the best Bondoer. As you can see, this is pretty messy stuff, so I'm gonna probably start out with a layer of Bondo, and then once that dries and hardens, get to some sanding, hopefully get this thing all prepared to get flocked tonight. So as you can tell, I'm nowhere near an expert at applying Bondo. Mad respect to the bodywork guys who work with this stuff every day and who are really good at it, because it's pretty challenging to use. But I started to get a little bit frustrated with the applicating pad, so I just started using my hands. Wish I was wearing gloves, but it was pretty easy to wash it all off. It's super hot out here today. The camera actually died while I was filming. Not really died, but overheated. So it actually just overheated again as I was talking about that. But yeah, we're gonna let this dry for a while. We'll come back to it, start sanding it down. If there's any more voids, which I think there should be like a few little more spots to fill, we'll fill those and then sand that all down. I think I'm probably gonna hit this with some black paint before I hit it with black glue and then black suede, or well, black flock. We'll see you guys soon. Here we are, guys, much later. We decided to go grocery shopping while this dried. I got my hair cut, did a couple of important things. But this didn't like actually dry. It's still kind of mushy. I think the hardener that I had for this may have expired. So I'm gonna probably leave this how it is for a week. See if it gets hard or at all, or like if I can work with it at all, because the way it is currently, I cannot sand this thing. It's really bad. See you guys in a week. Hey guys, we're back. It's actually just the next day. I kind of figured this stuff is not really gonna harden, so I just started scraping it off with this paint scraper. I'm gonna try and get her all scraped up, and then I'll probably sand for a little bit and then do a little test, make sure this Bondo actually does harden with the hardener. But if not, I'll go pick up some more Bondo and get back to work on this. So I'd like to have it done pretty soon. So I got pretty much all of yesterday's work scraped off. I did a little test with some new Bondo. Well, this is the same Bondo I was using. So the hardener works. I guess I just didn't put enough hardener. I didn't really shake it up. It was kind of separate. It was like a little bit watery when I tried to drop it in yesterday. So I'm gonna sand this down and get back to work. So about 30 minutes of work later, got all the undried bondo off, picked out, gave this thing a quick sanding, and now we can mix up some actually hardening bondo and get this thing back into shape. Yeah, I was trying to use like the least amount of hardener as I could just to get as much working time as I could, but it totally backfired on me. And I didn't shake up that hardening little thing, and it was a little bit watery when it came out, so yeah, let's get back to work on this. So as you guys probably noticed when I was applying this last one, it started to get a lot harder, a lot quicker for me. So I'm probably gonna mix up another batch and get into some of these cracks that I wasn't able to get into. And then after that, sanding. All right, got the second coat all in there. Gonna let this dry for a while and then start sanding. Probably some 80 grit, maybe a little bit higher. I did use some 60 grit when I was knocking everything down, and it kind of got through like the vinyl layer, which I'm not that concerned about, but I want to go a little easier on it next time. We'll catch up with you then. All right, guys, day 3. We're gonna get to work sanding on this thing. I keep on having to take long breaks because I keep on having to go to work, get some errands done, stuff like that. So let's get to sanding on this thing, and then we'll probably have one last final layer of bondo, just for the little tiny holes. Alright guys, just got finished sanding up. There's just one more coat I want to do, just for these little tiny areas. Stuff where there's just a little bit of pitfalling. I'd like it to be just a little bit better. This is for a drift car, so it doesn't really have to be perfect, but I'd like to have it pretty close to perfect because I have to look at the dash all the time. So there's just a few more little areas, little nicks that I accidentally created with the sander that I gotta just fill. Very small amount of bondo. And then we'll do one final sanding. I'll probably use like a much smoother grit, but I have this in here just to show you, or well, show myself if I'm happy with this line right here, and I think that that's fine. I'll be happy with that. So we're almost there. I'll probably do a light dusting of black paint on it after this next coat of bondo and sanding, and then we can flock, and then we'll be done. I went ahead and marked all the little potholes that I want to fill with this red paint pen, just to make it a little bit easier on myself. Once I get the bondo mixed up, I've got a clear flight path to follow, so I can be smooth, effective, and timely. That way I can get this all knocked out, sanded down, and move on. All right, last coat of bondo all in. I actually had to mix up like 3 different batches. I put way too much hardener into this batch, and then the other batch started getting really hard when I was getting to the little stuff. So not so bad. I hope that's the last time I ever have to touch bondo in my life. I hope that's the last time I ever have to say the word bondo. But yeah, we'll sand this probably a little bit later on today. And if it looks good, then that's that. All right, guys, final session of sanding coming up. You guys are probably always wondering why the hell I'm wearing these weird get-ups. I just don't want to get like my regular clothes dirty, so these are kind of what I wear in the garage. And I work at night, so when I wake up, I pretty much just basically throw on some pajamas, work out here, get really dirty, and then shower up, get ready for work in the evening. But yeah, let's get sanding. All right, guys, so here she is. This is the final edition. About to throw some spray paint on this just so any of that bondo color doesn't come through. I'm using this Rust-Oleum high performance enamel. It's like this flatback black color. I use that shit on everything, like Frank's Red Hot. If you notice, my valve cover's like that. Many things are like that in my car. I definitely burned through in a lot of areas. And honestly, this is, you know, decent, but I wouldn't say this is the best job ever. Myself not being very good at this, I could probably redo this 10 times over and not really get the results I'm looking for. So I'm okay with painting it the way that it is and having an overall much nicer dashboard. So let's get to painting this thing because I got to go to work. And then hopefully tomorrow or later tonight when I get home from work, we can flock it. At least 3 minutes at Chucky Poo. All right, guys, so this is how we're leaving her until the flocking. As you can see, it's definitely not perfect. You can look in here and kind of see a little bit of depth. I'm thinking the glue probably will make up for these little tiny indifferences. That's what I get for using 80 grit, to be honest. I should have used something a little bit lighter, but that's all right, I'm okay with that. And I totally didn't even notice this entire chunk missing right over here by the glove box area. Sorry, the camera actually just cut out, overheated. Thanks, Vegas, super hot out here. But yeah, I totally overlooked this. Doesn't really bother me that much, it's not that big a deal. The rest of the car is not perfect, so this doesn't need to be perfect. But yeah, I'm gonna let this dry, go to work, maybe later tonight, lay some flock on this. And I did paint over my VIN badge area just because I accidentally scuffed it, so I wanted to put it back to black. So yeah, guys, that's it for now for today. Hopefully later tonight after work, if my fiance's still up, she can help me flock the dash. If not, we'll get it done in the morning. But I'm really eager to get it done, get it back in the car, see how it looks. But I'll catch up with you guys after work or tomorrow morning. All right, guys, she's all ready. We got everything prepared. Big old tarp for a mess. Everything's ready. We're gonna start flocking this thing. I got my fiance Emerald here to help me. So we're gonna put a little time lapse on to get this done. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I'll be okay with it however it comes out. I already told myself if I don't like the flock, I'll go ahead and just sand it down and paint it or something. So here we go. So it's been exactly 15 minutes since we started applying glue. Had my fiance's phone timer going just to help us out. But yeah, everything looks really good. Can't really see it over here, but we gotta let this puppy sit for about 14 to 20 hours and then I can turn her upside down. But yeah, I'm really happy with the outcome. You can still see like a little bit of imperfections, but it really hides the imperfections pretty dang well. So I'm glad I didn't, try to perfect it, go crazy. Can't wait to see what this thing looks like in the daylight. I even got under here by the cluster. That part was really important to me because I wanted to have that like sort of seamless look once the cluster's in. But yeah, guys, we'll catch up with you in a while once this is done drying. One part I almost nearly forgot is I wanted to get this little vent gauge, little cluster I have. That way it kind of matches with the dash. It'll look really nice. Yeah. We made a huge mess. I accidentally spilt a bunch of flock over here. I'm pretty glad that I bought 1 pound of flock because now I have a bunch left over just in case I want to do anything else. But I wasn't stressing about how much flock I was using. As you can see, there's a lot of overspray everywhere. So I would reclaim it, but this area is pretty dirty. So I'll probably just put it in the trash. All right, guys, I don't know what day this is. Probably like the 4th day of working on this dash, at least on camera. But we're all done. I just rotated her over, dusted off some of the excess. I didn't want to go too crazy. I don't have compressed air here, so I don't want to go too wild on it. I'm just gonna let her rest for a couple days before I really give it a good brushing and get it installed and stuff like that. But yeah, let me show you guys the final product. There's a couple clumpies here and there, but overall it looks way better. I'm pretty happy with this, guys. It's very uniform, doesn't look bad in any areas. Just these little clumpies that are kind of on the top, but I think I should be able to get those out after this cures for a little bit more time. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to have this in the car. It's gonna look a million times better. So that's gonna do it for the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it's not like super exciting stuff, but you know, if you like what you saw, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.